Yep, you guys are still clicking the right channel. Yep, it's still Hey Adam G YouTube channel. But for today's content, let's do something different this time around. Let's leave the world of pageantry at the meantime and allow me to vlog about something different for a change. Since I pointed out in my previous content about the numerous signs that I am seeing why I feel pageantry is slowly dying right now, I might as well try to diversify my content here on my YouTube channel. I super love reading all your comment about my previous content, and as early as now, I am planning to make another content about it just to engage you, my followers here on my YouTube channel. As the engagement that you gave me on that particular content about Miss Universe slowly dying is crazy. Marami pala tayong parehong nararamdaman about certain things or matters in pageantry, and it's nice that we share the same sentiment on those. So I plan to make another content about it soon. Allow me to talk about something different naman for this content. Since pageantry is slowly dying, I might as well eventually vlog, or I might as well start gravitating to another topic or another world where I can flex my vlogging skills. And I thought of doing movie reviews or entertainment content about local showbiz or Hollywood this time around. I know you all know me as a pageant fan, but long before you knew me as a pageant fan slash correspondent slash critic, I'm a movie and showbiz fan. I love watching movies during my spare time when I was younger. So with the current pageant break, I have thought of making a movie review about a movie that made me cry during MMFF or Metro Manila Film Festival last year. For my bashers and critics here, alam nyo naman na iyakin ako or mababaw ang luha ko. So anything, whether it's a book, news clip, or movie that is a good cry, is worth my time. And so I am talking about the movie Rewind of Ding Dong Dantes and Marian Rivera, which is currently raking in more than 600 million pesos in box office as we speak. And although it did not win so much awards during the Gabi ng Parangal Awards night, I still feel the movie is still quite a gem on its own, and I am listing down 3 reasons why I love the movie so much. So here it is. First reason why I love it, because there was an element of time travel in the movie. When this movie was being marketed, nung una pa lang, people were saying how the movie is somehow a rip-off of the 2004 Hollywood movie Love Story, If Only, due to its time travel element in the storyline. And I do get that. I also don't know the reason behind the motive of the filmmaker here in employing the time travel element in the story, as it's no longer original in terms of concept, as it was already done in a lot of US movies and TV shows in the past. But the movie still works on its own charm, in my opinion. I don't know, guys. Maybe it's just that I love watching movies that will temporarily make me forget about my problems in life. Hence, the movie may have employed quite a ridiculous plot. But if you are like me who can suspend disbelief for 2 hours in the movie house, then you will find it an enjoyable movie, to which I did. And I also don't know, I just like these movies that time travels through time. Diba? Maybe because the first time I encountered with this time travel concept in a movie or TV series is when I was watching Charm way back before. Diba? Charm was a US TV series about 3 sisters who happened to be witches. And in one of the episodes of it wherein it killed off the character of Shannon Doherty's Prue Halliwell, this time travel element was firstly introduced to me, and I like how it was done and made the characters of that TV series so raw and vulnerable with their acting because of this ridiculous element. And so every time I see a movie about time traveling, I couldn't help but remind me of that TV show Charmed. So when Rewind was heavily being marketed during MMFF last year, I got suddenly curious to watch. I may have enjoyed this concept employed in this movie, but I feel it backfired on them at the last part of the movie, and it involved Ding Dong's character still getting entangled by an extra problem or scenario which I feel does not or did not make sense given the believability of the storyline, since there was a heavy price Ding Dong's character had to pay to make things right in the end. So without spoiling the whole thing for those who haven't seen the movie yet, I feel there were moments where the movie was already going through that whimsical route given the already implausibility of it to solve a problem. But since I was willing to suspend disbelief, I was willing to let it go just to increase the tearjerkability of this movie. So why not? And now we go to my second reason, and it's because the movie has a biblical message about love, compassion, and forgiveness. Yes. One of the reasons why I love this movie so much is because the producers did not initially did not present itself as a Christian love story, or it did not show the Christian narrative of this movie down to our throats for consumption, and instead promoted it as a reunion movie of Ding Dong and Marian, since we have not seen them appear in a TV show or movie together for a number of years now. So when was the last time that they both appeared in a TV show? I think it was still back in 2017 for a soap opera of GMA. And I know I have been presenting myself as a pageant critic here, talking about swimsuit presentations of Our Ladies from time to time, but outside my pageant persona, I love going to church every Sunday and watching feel-good movies. When I watched this movie, I was just curious as to why everyone was watching it, that made it as a huge blockbuster in cinemas right now. And as I found myself crying in my seat, I realized about how a movie being inserted with a Christian or religious theme could turn off viewers. And for me, I did not have any problem with this at all, as I am a Christian myself who makes it a habit to go to church every Sunday. So in a way, I feel like listening to a sermon when I was watching this movie. There were so many elements of it, from Ding Dong and Marian's son characters being prayerful, to Lod's, his term of endearment for God, to this Lod's actual coming to life at Ding Dong Dantes' character's crucial moments in the last parts of the movie. It all makes up for a preachy movie, and I get that. But it's just cool how the movie presented the character of God, or Lod's in this particular case, in a fun and cool way through the comedic characterization of Pepe Herrera. Pepe's Lod's was refreshingly light to watch without having too much of his preachings being too imposed, but just allows his mortal client, Ding Dong, to realize the consequences of his own actions. And I like that. You know how it is when we are always being told upon by our elders or by our parents about what to do, especially when we make mistakes. Here, I just find it very refreshing how the relationship between Ding Dong's character and Pepe's divine being character gelled without being overbearing to watch. And as a result, it felt like listening to a pastor of a church delivering his sermon in a comedic way, and it just needs to be said. So I get why this movie is currently being shown in this year's Metro Manila Film Festival, because it caters to the sensibilities of many Filipino movies by offering its own spin about love, compassion, and forgiveness. And now we go to my third and final reason why I like the movie so much. Because Ding Dong and Marian Rivera's acting skills here and chemistry on screen elevates the simplicity of the movie plot. You know, this movie is not hard to understand. The storyline of this film is very simple, yet despite its simplicity, it shines on its own merit with its relatable dialogue and true-to-life everyday scenarios in life. Hence, it shines on its own simplicity and genuineness. Both Ding Dong and Marian's performance here were so truthful and organic, which make you wonder if they actually act the way they were in the movie in real life. Yes, granted that the movie storyline may have been very simple, but it more than makes it up with the lead star's acting skills and chemistry on screen. Ding Dong, for one, proved that he could also be a great dramatic actor if the occasion calls for it. And I don't know if it's either because Ding Dong hardly does dramatic movies nowadays, which require him to be very emotional and vulnerable at all times, or I am only just used to seeing him as a host in beauty pageants or on television. But seeing him being raw and vulnerable with his emotions in this film is a very refreshing sight. In fact, one of my favorite scenes in the movie is where his character broke down in tears during his wife's funeral, which made me say he could really show some acting chops given the right script. In that particular moment, I really felt his character's pain and longingness for Marian's character, his deceased wife in the movie, and it moved me to tears in my seat, even if I haven't fully experienced myself what his character went through in this movie since I'm still single. So he was very effective here in this movie. Although I wish the director could have given him a more compelling background for us to really feel and understand his angst and misgivings regarding his role's character development, or in the way, or to be more specific, with the way he relates with his father. Ding Dong still comes into his own as an actor here in this movie. His fierce commitment to his John character becomes the film's backbone, and it's a credit that the bulk of the running time is spent grappling with his conundrum or difficult, perplexing situation and the hopelessness that overtakes his character. And seeing his life evaporate in thin air due to the wrong choices that he had made about the circumstances leading to his situation, until a tragedy finally hit his family, pushed him to the brink, and caused him to back away from his fate. And it is within these moments that I got to see the believability of Ding Dong's acting here, as he was able to deliver a fully committed performance that credibly showed both his character's mental and physical anguish endured by his deceased wife. With the crippling pain of losing his wife taking its own toll on Ding Dong's character as he raced against time to make things right, I feel the movie raises inevitable questions about God's plans for our lives. Like, after all, diba, if God, or in this movie, Lords, is real, why does he let his people down by taking away their most loved property? Right? So, for her part, Marian Rivera radiates in her character as a devoted wife to Ding Dong's character, even if I feel her character here should have given more screen time or meat or character development that made her character somehow clash to her husband's lifelong plans. And it's actually my first time to watch Marian act since the time she joined showbiz. I think it was back in 2007, and I can't make any comparison right now as to how she has evolved as an actress throughout her ongoing filmography, but I feel those TV soaps that she has also done has made her more a sensitive actress. Her character here in this movie, I feel, does not demand too much hysteric lines and just relies so much on her emotions when being reactive or confronted by her husband's numerous predicament. And this is where I feel Marion shines also on her own. Maybe it helps that she is acting opposite her real-life husband, so she lets her character go with the flow and not compete with her husband's brilliant moments in the movie instead. Because let's face it, it could have been an acting showdown between the two in the end. But just like any real-life couple, Marian and Ding Dong, I reckon, have learned how to give and take in this movie, and that beautiful synergy or chemistry brings this movie to a feel-good movie experience. And so, guys, if there's one lesson I learned from here, is that God really loves us despite the mistakes that we have made in life, and it's through our atonement and sincere, confession of our sins that we are forgiven. That there is joy in being forgiven by people that you love, and most especially by God. And there is also joy to have allowed me to watch this very beautiful movie last year.